Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of the Team Venom Wrestling podcast. If you're listening to us on Spotify or you're going on by any other playlist that I've put together, you'll be confused because I'm saying episode 2, but it's the third episode on there. One was the Bad Blood reaction thing that was doing as the pay-per-view went on, which wasn't a proper episode. It was more of like a live reaction sort of thing. And the best reaction was the end of it, where I realised I'd missed the whole fucking Hell in a Cell match. So anyway, I'm your host Rory Bailey, and I'm joined with Connor Franks. How's it going, man?
It's good. I think I'd left a comment on the actual
Yeah.
full video. I was like, the big out of all of it, the biggest bad blood was between you and the network.
Exactly. But who would have thought that would be the opening match?
I mean, I did say it would be because it was already confirmed that the Bloodline was going to main event, and they're not going to have a random Hell in a Cell match
Midway through, yeah.
midway through.
It was just that thing of like, normally in the UK we get it at like 1 a.m. or midnight if it's early. It was fucking 11 o'clock start. Like, how would we have known that? Do you know what I mean? I even
Yeah.
Googled it and it told me 12 on Google. So like 11:30, me and Ruben were kicking the shit out of each other on 2K24, like ready for, in preparation for it. We would play video games. At 11:15, I recorded the intro for the fucking live reaction thing. So if I'd have switched the network on at any of those points instead, we would have been fine. I'd have been like, oh shit. So yeah,
That's why I find the rule is to always just put the network on, or even like the kickoff on YouTube.
yeah.
Just something, not even like to
I
actively sit
normally
and watch it,
I
but to
normally watch the
just in
kickoff.
case.
It's just the thing of we got the WWE network via the PlayStation, and Ruben basically challenged me to a Hell in a Cell match because he was all excited. So we had a Hell in a Cell match on 2K24 instead, which is what they want us to do. They want us to buy that damn game and play it in preparation. But yeah, so this is the second episode, sort of, and it's officially episode 2. And we're going to break the rule that we said about in the very first episode, which was only last week, where we said we're not going to talk about current things. Well, guess what? That's all we're going to talk about on this
Yeah,
episode.
you know what? We'll just talk about what we want. Fuck you.
The best thing is, like, right, so we'll get around to it when, like, but one of the things that amused me listening back to the first episode, we were on about like AEW and press and how like they gave me not they how like we were
Yep.
like I knew and I went through all
I
the stuff
listened back.
Impact gave me,
Yep, I know. I listened
and
back,
you
but
got like in
also,
those words now.
yeah,
We're like within a week.
no.
You just
I
like
don't
say,
have to.
yeah, that's
I
true.
don't have to eat those words because I still paid. Okay.
That's true.
I, for those of you who are not
It's
aware,
just
I went to Nashville on my honeymoon because of Hurricane Helene wiping out uh, Florida and South Carolina. South Carolina was where Impact was meant to tape. So they moved it to Nashville and they did two tapings there and they turned that into a fundraising thing. It's still, there's still the all weekly television, but all the tickets, all the merch, anything you bought, fucking snacks, everything, every bit of money they earned from those 2 nights went to Hurricane Helene.
yeah.
So I'm not saying that I'm a saint, but uh, you
But
know,
you helped. Like, you
I
did your
helped.
part. Yeah, yeah, this is it.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just the bizarre like coincidence of, did we just say that, yeah, well, I'm not, the Impact never sorted anything out for me, and then like you went off on your honeymoon, and a couple of days into it, I got a press release from them saying about these shows, and what did you say they were? 11 minutes away from where you were staying,
Yeah.
which is mad. It's just the odds of that, man. And yeah, see, unfortunately, like
Hmm.
because we've already decided that this is all purely audio only for these podcasts, which is a shame because there's some great visual treats in those Hardy Boys things you've got signed that we could have happily shown the camera, but we
Yeah, there
committed to the
is.
audio only.
But the joy of editing, um, when this full show
But yeah, yeah,
goes on
I'll put
YouTube,
the picture of you
you
with
can
the
just
Hardys. Yeah,
that or the signatures, just throw that up on while we're talking right now. There you go. There's
I mean, for the whole episode on YouTube, that's going to be the preview picture. Is just you with the Hardys and all those signatures, whichever one you want, whichever one you decide.
Oh, dude, honestly, right? Fucking obviously, a lot of people in wrestling, whether they're, active wrestler, work behind the scenes, do journalism, whatever the case is, not
Yeah,
many people admit it, but I'm such a fucking mark, right?
yeah, I know, same here.
I don't care. I'm such a mark. And the fact I got to meet the Hardy Boys,
It's mad.
my GOAT tag team,
Yeah, yeah.
like that is insane. I bought I know they can't see, but by habit, and also I want to look at them again. They're behind me. I bought the frames
Yeah.
from Amazon, obviously, because oh my God, you should have seen how I like made sure they were safe coming home.
Nice.
Um, so I've bought them, and even just looking at those autographs probably sounds really stupid to a lot of people, but I don't care. Looking at them like gives me like butterflies.
Yeah,
So they're in frames. Eventually, I'm going to get another shelving unit for the other side of my desk.
yeah,
And that's going to become the wrestling like stuff because obviously I've got like behind me there's one shelf you can't see
yeah,
because behind me is all Pokemon stuff.
yeah,
And
yeah.
right now, Hardy signatures. And below that, there's a random shelf with a wrestling belt and some figures, a
Nice.
signed RVD thing, um,
That you
which
bought from my eBay years ago.
that I bought from your eBay. Yeah. I miss your eBay, mate. I was honestly, I fucking supplied myself with so much. I'm like, what's he found? Thank you. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, the belt and then those. So I want to get all that there. I've got a free print of the actual picture of me with the Hardys. That's going to be delivered, and I'm going to put that in a frame, and that's going
nice.
to be there. I'm also going to get it on a fucking canvas. I might get it on a fucking poster.
It's gonna be like you have it just blown up and painted and your wall painted like it.
Yeah.
The whole house is just one big mural.
I'll go to one of those print websites and we'll do a like
10
video
foot.
the Christmas special. I'll be there in like Hardy me and the Hardys Santa hat, me and the Hardys t-shirt, drinking out of a me and the Hardys mug,
Yeah, yeah.
me
Is
and the
that what you
Hardys
said about the
lapel
birthday
pin.
present taking a while to come? It's just like a canvas of you and the Hardys.
As hilarious as that would be. No. But it was your birthday a few days ago, time of recording.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Great.
The day I actually was traveling back,
I know. And yours
which is
was
why
because I know you
yeah,
had yours in there over in
yeah,
Nashville and stuff. So I was
I did.
I think I just posted you a generic thing on your Facebook wall, if that. But I know it was the thing of me go. I was thinking, don't quite want to bug you because you're over in Nashville and it'll be like really annoying. It must have been really annoying getting loads of birthday messages anyway while you were going around there and trying to enjoy your honeymoon.
Not really, purely because I'm one of those like 50-year-old people, even though I'm like 28, that I have no notifications for Facebook. None.
Nice,
Like, and none at all.
very good.
Everyone is muted on Messenger except for you.
I
That's it.
appreciate that.
Yeah. Um, but no, man, it's yeah, so your birthday was time flying back, and I'm working on a cool little present for you. I didn't want to
Thanks.
just, I could have just like Amazon something to you like we normally do, but
Yeah. So
uh,
I know. Well, I think I know what I'm getting, what's going to be there for you to be handed in hand. I have a plan and
for
stuff.
for all of you audio listeners, while he was saying that, he was scanning whatever's in front of him up and down. So
So,
I'm assuming
what,
he was frantically looking.
what is there I can give away?
What comic? I give a fuck about you. What
No, it's not that.
what you hear? What you're not showing is you've got
No, a
like a
fucking
stack of.
spider just crawled across the wall. That was not a fucking thing. Better not come
Yes,
near. Fuck.
because it was your birthday on the 10th,
Yeah,
3 days ago, and it's Danny's birthday today.
yeah.
So
And
I'm
we
I'm
could have
working
divided on
on.
this, but we didn't.
Yeah, fuck him. He gets the Christmas specials. Little mod, isn't
So
he?
we throw a boat at Christmas.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm working on. You're not getting the same thing, but it's the same theme.
Yeah.
Is I think the best way to describe it without giving it away. But
Okay.
I'm excited to give you when we actually are in person, which
Yes.
doesn't happen anywhere near enough. But
I
that will
know,
be.
but I like that it's happened that it's going to have happened twice this year.
I
That's
know
good.
that is a rarity.
Yeah, yeah. Like the first time was the beginning of last year, wasn't it? When we met up in York. Was it the beginning of last year or
Yes.
the beginning of the year before?
No, I
No,
was
it wasn't
married.
last year. No, because I was here. So it was the year before that. Yeah. So last year we didn't meet up at all.
No, we did in Aiken, we went to the place.
I thought that was earlier this year.
Oh yeah, that was this year.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it's like, yeah. And then I went to Scarborough and we went past we drove past Daddy's workplace and I was like, could go in and see Daddy. No.
Yeah.
I just thought that that would be more amusing. When you have the thing of like, you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
just like just a little like trolling me. And it's like he doesn't even know. It was like it just amused me. But yeah, it'd be really funny if I just didn't go and see it.
Oh
I've gone
yeah.
past his workplace and I know he's at work because you told me, but I'm not going in. For a second, it was like Ruben was like doing the thing of saying that he was going to go in and go, "Hey, aren't you the guy? Aren't you the worst one from the Team Venom podcasts?"
And he said, "No, I'm not Dave."
Oh,
Um,
I should have got him to go in and call him Dave. Hey, I know you. You're off the Team Venom things, aren't you, Dave?
he'd have probably been more confused that some random kids come up to him and called him his dad's name.
Yeah.
I think that'd would be like he wouldn't even he wouldn't hear the team Venom. He'd be like, "What?" Uh,
Yeah, that'd be great. We've gone wonderfully off tangent, but the point was you went to Impact. You went
I did.
to the TNA Impact tapings for at the time of recording. It was this week's Impact and next week's Impact, which means that yeah. To be fair, time of
The
recording, we're recording this on a Sunday night, and it's coming out on when these episodes are coming out every Thursday. So it is this week's Impact.
I don't know if
So
they recorded two or three
yeah,
because each night was like 3 hours.
yeah, probably three, but it might have been. I know
Uh,
some of the spoilers when they come out, it's like they do an impact and a half at one show and an impact and a half at another, or pad them out with backstage skits. I don't know.
there wasn't that much backstage stuff like shown, so if they did 1.5, that would make sense.
Yeah,
Um, the final thing that happened was the contract signing for Bound for Glory, so I'm assuming logically it would make sense.
yeah. Speaking of Bound
Um,
for Glory, main event is Nick Nemeth
Nick
versus Joe
Nemeth
Hendry, isn't it?
defending, yeah, against Joe Hendry, um,
I mean, we may
which
as well offer a preview.
I'm happy to do a proof. Do you know, I we went and obviously I brought Hannah with me. She loved it
Yeah,
to the point that she's like, I'm not gonna watch TNA like for the next few weeks because I've just seen it.
yeah,
She's like, but I want to watch Bound for Glory.
yeah,
She's like, I really enjoyed this. I think the point she made was like, obviously it's all good in ring action. You've got
yeah,
very good roster there, but she was like, it's a new company, like to her,
yeah,
and her first time experience in it is in Nashville on her honeymoon. She's not the biggest of wrestling fans, but even as a kid, she knew the Hardys.
yeah,
So that was a very cool thing to her. So it's like her introduction to TNA was on her honeymoon, sitting basically ringside
yeah.
for 2 nights, seeing all this awesome stuff happen.
You know how
So
we've said about us mirroring each other's lives and shit.
yeah,
My wife's introduction to TNA was last year. This time last year when they did the UK tour
the
for
UK
Ruben's
tour.
birthday, when we went and sat ringside and watched for 2 nights and watched it.
Very nice.
So it is cool, isn't it? To be fair,
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
and yeah, she came away being like, she was like, yeah, no, Jordan Grace is probably the best women's wrestler she's seen, and she's just like stuck with that for the year. That's that's been her opinion, and can't really disagree.
Well, that's only because she wasn't around for Jackie Gator.
That's true.
Yeah.
Jackie Haas.
Um,
um. Oh, fucking yeah. So Hendry versus Namath. We'll do a very quick.
we could just do a Bound for Glory actual fucking episode because
Yeah.
we've already waffled like a
No, we'll go
considerable.
through all the other things. We can do a Bound for Glory one next week when it's coming up to Bound for Glory. The
Okay.
and the card's been fully finalised or whatever. But Nick Nemeth versus Joe Hendry. I'm very happy to see Joe Hendry in that spot because Joe Hendry's been grinding it for fucking decades and stuff.
What we on like? It's on like 11 years or so now.
Something like that, yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's one of those things where I can remember seeing him and Lionheart act as Rusev's henchmen on
Yeah.
Raw one year, which was amazing. And
Yeah, that was when they were in was it Edinburgh or
yeah, something
Glasgow?
like that,
One of
yeah.
them. Yeah, yeah.
But like Joe Hendry's someone that's worked for my mate in Hope and things like that. And there's been a lot of times where I've had like a few cross paths with him over the years in good in positive ways. I met him briefly at WrestleMedia Con, which was a one-off thing that happened at Old Trafford one year, and that had a TNA versus the UK thing on there. And I'm pretty sure Joe Hendry was facing LA Knight, Eli Drake on the day,
Yeah.
which was awesome. Um, Great show. So, but I'd met a load of them backstage, met a load of them generally walking around the media con, and Joe Hendry was one of the hosts of it. So yeah, so it was pretty cool. So we spoke to him there. Um, it's good. It's taken a while for him to get like a serious push somewhere because he had a brief stint with ROH, which was pretty cool. This isn't his first TNA run either, but it's like the last time he had a TNA run, he was just sort of there, and now this time they've actually given him because all of a sudden he's gone viral and there's memes about him everywhere, and they've given him a massive push, and WWE have given him a massive push as well, which is amazing. The fact
Yeah.
that he's a TNA contracted wrestler getting a massive push in WWE,
I love
and
that relationship, by the way.
yeah, the TNA NXT crossover thing's been great, and I'm kind of what the one sad thing that I have about it is that War Games is now no longer an NXT event; it's a main roster thing for WWE. Because if NXT were still the ones doing War Games, you know full well it would have been NXT versus TNA.
Yeah,
That would have
without
been
a doubt.
amazing. But yeah, but those days are long gone. But yeah, their rosters, their relationship's been awesome. It's been great to see all that, and Joe Hendry challenging for both the NXT and TNA championship within about 6 weeks of each other is amazing.
Hey, that's an episode idea, by the way. Booking an NXT versus TNA pay-per-view.
Well, I think that's what we'll have to do at some point. Yeah, yeah. But you know what we wouldn't book? We wouldn't book a show
Uh,
like fucking AEW Wrestle Dream.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna sit back and let you.
It's good, isn't it? Did you like that? That was a
Yeah.
really that was a smooth transition. So, did you actually see any of Wrestle Dream, or you just leave this to be because fuck AEW?
Uh, I saw a TikTok
That I
of
sent you.
no, no, I saw that really annoyed me, the fact I had
Yeah,
to witness that. No, I
yeah,
saw a TikTok of Rico.
yeah. That was one of the highlights. Is Rico appeared? It's like, yes.
Yeah, I like that if they make that a permanent fixture of him with male models, whatever they call
Yeah,
themselves, that works. I like it.
I
Uh,
like that it was against Billy Gunn's chosen team as well.
yeah, I
That's
know.
that little bit of history there. That was
I to be honest, I said I actually brought him up not long ago to Danny saying because we were talking about teams who need managers,
yeah,
and I was like pretty deadly would be phenomenal with Rico.
yeah, yeah. But so do you know the results of Wrestle Dream?
I know Moxley beat Brian.
Yeah, and Brian's now retired properly. Sort of.
Osprey lost.
Yeah, to take a shitter or whatever his name is.
Um, and I think I saw a clip of Jericho's tits bleeding.
Yeah,
Other
there
than
was
that,
just.
I don't really know.
I think the biggest annoyance for me was the MJF Adam Cole stuff. Um, because I know you weren't really watching it before when the last time they did the MJF Adam Cole stuff, but
Still not.
like at the first Wembley event, they had MJF and Adam Cole as ROH Tag Team Champions at that point. And they had this whole thing around that time period. They had this whole thing where they were the ROH Tag Team Champions, and they were best friends. And MJF turned face by teaming up with Adam Cole. They had this whole thing where Adam Cole was basically making MJF into a good guy by default, and it was the first person MJF trusted. And at the same time, they had someone in MJF's old devil mask running around backstage and beating up loads of MJF's old associates.
Right.
So it was a shit angle anyway. The devil mask thing. It was just. But the end result of it was that Samoa Joe ended up becoming the AEW champion because Adam Cole turned on MJF and was revealed as the devil guy. And then
Right.
they had I can't remember what they called the group. It might have been something along the lines of Undisputed Kingdom or something like that. Something along those lines they went for the group, and it was Roddy Strong's team with Adam Cole going against MJF, but MJF was injured anyway, so there was no payoff for a while because it was just MJF's back on the injured list. MJF returned so you would think that when he came back he'd be after that group and pissed off with them all, and because booking 101.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So MJF came back, had a monster face pop, and then turned heel, so he's heel again. Right, he's like literally in the
Right.
span of like 6 months, he's had more heel turns than Big Show, who also turned heel recently on AEW.
He's still
But
going.
he's still there. Big Show's still there. But it's mad. Anyway, so MJF was heel. And they had a thing on his match at Wrestledream where Adam Cole, who's now a babyface, came out to cost MJF his match. And they're continuing the feud, but MJF is heel and Adam Cole is face. And the crowd are chanting for Adam Cole. But Adam Cole was literally the devil on TV that cost MJF the title. And it's just nonsensical booking. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things you're just
Yeah.
like, why are you doing this? It's like, to be fair, one of the things that I'll liken it to in WWE and ties us into bad blood is the Finn Balor Damian Priest feud. Like, why are Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley the faces? Because Finn's turned on them when Finn was one of the first victims of the Judgment Day. It was literally Finn, AJ, and Liv, who were all face at the time, being beaten up by Damian Priest, Edge, and Rhea Ripley. And they had the whole setup to that was that Damian Priest convinced Finn to turn on the fans and join them instead of being beaten up by them. And do you know what I mean? That was one of those things where now that it's the other way, now that Finn's turned on Damian Priest, it's still weird to me that they're going, yeah, Liv Morgan's so diabolical for wanting revenge on Rhea Ripley. Like, Rhea Ripley put her on the fucking injury list for a hell of a long time. And she was a good guy at the time. Rhea was a bad guy. You can completely understand her wanting to mess her life up. Yeah, bears. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
If Vince McMahon had pulled that shit on like injured Stone Cold, Stone Cold would come back and fuck him up, and everyone would think it was great. I know it's like a complete like different sort of level of talent and stuff. But it's like I don't know. It's like that situation and the AEW situation. I don't really get it that much. Although the positive with the Damian Priest and Finn Balor thing is that Finn Balor has gone full heel mode for years, and he's actually committed to being a heel, and it's that sort of thing, isn't it? And that's the difference. Whereas there's no reason for Adam Cole to be a face now. It was completely unearned. And the
Yeah.
MJF thing was just like, why? Why bother? Where, yeah. And obviously, Wrestle Dream ended with Brian retiring, but they did the thing of putting a bag on his head and trying to choke him out and stuff like that. So I figure they've given him that sort of write off, so that in 6 months, when he's getting the itch to come back again, he'll just come back and go after Moxley.
I mean, I feel like the only way it should have ended would have been Justin Roberts choking him out with his tie.
Yeah, that would have been great.
I feel like that would have been the perfect way to do it. Yeah, I mean, Danielson, great career. I'm not going to pretend to, have kept up
Yeah,
to it since he left. But I don't think he'll be back. I mean, I don't. No, I don't think he'll be gone forever. I think
no,
he's already shown. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's like he can't stay away even when it's a risk.
It's like literally career-ending injuries. Like, well, you know
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
This guy in China says I can wrestle. Like
yeah,
that. And then Vince's like, okay, pal, don't go off anywhere else.
yeah.
Speaking of Vince, have you seen any of the Mr. McMahon series on Netflix?
I have not.
Okay, I've just finished episode 5. It's one of those things where I know I could probably binge watch it all, but each episode's actually really, really good. And
Well,
so I sort of
it
don't want
it
to
came
binge
out
it.
while I was away,
Yeah, so I didn't know if
and
you'd watched any that was like what I was asking you to say.
I can imagine
When you
because
watch it, it'll be something we can do a deep dive about.
the allegations came out mid-filming, didn't they?
Yeah,
So I can imagine for the first few episodes they're all blowing smoke up his ass.
not really. They've got
Oh,
like loads. They've got it. It's really really good, and because Vince is like one of the main narrators all the way through it as well, because they've got like hundreds of hours of Vince interview footage ready for this documentary. So he's telling you like some stories and stuff as well. But then they've got like the reporters that hated the WWF in the 80s and 90s. They've got the people that were like yeah, we used to tell everyone that he was a pedo and you know all those sorts of levels of
yeah,
characters. It's really well done how they've done it. So it's like an unobjective Mr. McMahon documentary. So you've got like positives and negatives all over the place and stuff that ties in. The best one is our mate Uncle Dave Meltzer, who fucking hates the pair of us, is on there and like
really?
acts as a fact checker. It's hilarious. So you know like the WrestleMania 3 thing that every WWE fan knows like they overinflated the figures
Yeah.
because they always go, yeah, 93,000. It's like, no, they're all going. I was telling Joe about that when they started to on the episode where they talk about that. They start going, yeah, no, 93,000. And I said to us, yeah, they say 93,000, but it was overinflated because of ticket touting and that sort of stuff. It was a lot less, like 70 odd thousand, but it's because that amount of tickets went, even though a lot of them were for third party sellers, as they just clung to that 93,000. So I said that to my wife while we're watching it, and then they're all it shows all these different wrestlers saying 93,000. Then it shows Dave Meltzer. He basically said the exact fucking thing I just said to my wife. So it's good in the sense that they've got that's the the thing where they've got like the guys that are hyping it up and the guys that are just going no like just as the counterbalance. So it
It's
was good
just
in that regard.
Dave Meltzer being a fact checker to me is absolutely insane because like
Yeah.
it wasn't that long ago that he claimed Pat McAfee won on Raw for
Yeah, I know
a
he's a fucking
storyline
idiot.
purpose. It turned out there was a death in the family.
Yeah.
He just fucking went ahead and published a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's because Meltzer's a bit of a hack and an idiot. But
I could do a
yeah,
full episode on
so
how much I fucking can't stand it. So.
yeah, I know we could do an episode on how shit things. One other thing that I thought was funny is he made the claim that Cody versus Seth in the Hell in a Cell was a better Hell in a Cell match than Punk versus Drew McIntyre. What are your thoughts on that?
I think Cody versus Seth in Hell in a Cell I would put down as more impressive
Because
purely
of Cody's
because of
injury.
purely because of how much Cody did in that match with that injury.
Yeah,
And how you could tell basically before the match, Cody went, "Look, my arm is fucked. It can't get any worse.
yeah,
So let's just still put on a banger." That's
yeah.
impressive. Uh, Punk versus Drew was very much what a Hell in a Cell match should be. It's a feud ender and it's fucking war. It's brutal.
And they went full out.
And yeah, they
I
went all
think
out for it. And I think that's what you need to do in a Hell in a Cell match, not
yeah,
have it as a standalone pay-per-view with different colored cells for different brands. And it's basically a normal one-on-one, except every now and then you rub the face in the steel.
yeah. And no one's going through it or anything like that because there's another four fucking Hell in a Cell matches booked for the rest of the show.
Yes, exactly.
So everyone plays it safe. But no, I thought Punk versus Drew was probably the best post Attitude Era Hell in a Cell match I've seen.
Yes.
And I mean, Michaels versus Undertaker, the first one was great because it was the first one and it was unlike anything that we'd seen at the time. Mankind versus Taker was great for the two big bumps. And Terry Funk being chokeslammed out of his shoes, which is also hilarious. But Mankind versus Taker wasn't a big, long, drawn out fight. It was Mankind wanted to be thrown off the cell and nearly died, and then decided he was coming back. And it's more of that, like the dedication of Mick Foley that makes that a classic by default. But if you looked at it from an in ring perspective, it's like they don't do a lot because they can't do a lot because Mick's
Yeah,
fucking nearly died twice in that match. Like,
yeah,
yeah. But whereas this was literally them going, right, we're locked in a cell, we both want to kill each other, we're gonna act like we want to kill each other, and the addition of blood, which is something that we've only seen happen since the beginning of the year again, I thought really helped that show. And that match and really helped sell it. But that's the thing about bleeding in wrestling. Blood can help enhance a feud, can help enhance a match. But when it's like the AEW thing of Moxley blading in every match or whatever,
yeah,
it cheapens it and it doesn't feel good though. And the same as like all the weapon stuff and the table spots and stuff where that sort of stuff just becomes like commonplace in so many matches. If done right, then the result is basically Punk versus Drew. Do
yeah,
you know what I mean? All that gimmicky stuff that like everyone else overblows, they did it perfectly, and it was a feud ender, and it made fucking sense for them to go that route because it was like, yeah, the only thing that I thought was the one thing that I thought was really good, but I immediately thought it was going to be a bit tacky was I thought that the bag was going to be pins, but we're going to
mm,
get a bag of drawing pins coming out on that
yeah.
for that. But the fact that it was the fucking bracelet beads I thought was a great touch.
I know, but one thing about that was when they went, "Oh, it's the beads from the bracelet." It's like, no, there's like
A million of
800.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, how big was this bracelet? Like, let's not.
No, no. Whereas it's the thing of Drew's
But
done it to piss Punk
it,
off. Go, ha, ha, ha.
yeah, but it's one of them. It's like it's at least they kept it to the storyline that matters. Like, don't
Yeah,
get me wrong, I was very much past why these grown ass men fighting over a fucking bracelet,
yeah,
but like at least it made sense and it was a nice like it was a cool spot.
yeah.
Whereas
Absolutely.
I think in the special referee match the bracelet was focused on far too much.
Yeah. Well, I think that's roughly about all we've got time for this episode because we are trying to keep this to around half an hour, and I know we've got past that for this session. Um, So thank you everyone for listening. Thank you, Connor, for being here and being amazing.
You're welcome.
If you're watching this via YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe. If you're listening to this via Spotify, Audible, iHeart, Spreaker, or any of those other places, because there's loads more that I haven't mentioned that I've dropped this on, then keep listening and please drop us a decent rating or a shit rating so that we know that we're crap. But like just something interact with us. I mean, we've had a fair few comments on the Christian videos from episode 1, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Um, and also make sure to check out a different podcast hosted by good old Connor over there called You Spawn Killed My Opinion, which also features me as a regular guest on there. That's a video game podcast, and it's great. Connor, tell us about
It's a video game podcast.
it.
I'm the host of He's a Regular Guest and it's great.
Yeah, that's it. So, anyway, we'll see you all next week.